I'm soon going to be launching the Patients Getting Paid online course that will teach you how to get paid because of your illness, not despite it. Are you interested in doing patient advocacy work, but you don't know where to start? Want to learn about how to find online remote gigs or learn to create your own? I wish somebody would have created this roadmap for me. I spent a lot of time and energy and money figuring it all out. I want you to be able to leapfrog over all that stuff and get to the good stuff, getting paid for sharing your story. In my new course, Patients Getting Paid, I'll be sharing my experience and my resources on how to create an income online that lets me take good care of myself. Want to learn how I did it? Want a list of resources, places to look for online gigs, and templated emails with what to say? It's in there. Want to hear about tons of different ways you can actually build a business while taking better care of yourself? It's in there. Want to be included in a database of chronic illness warriors so your contact info can be shared when opportunities for your disease come my way? Then get on the waiting list for Patients Getting Paid and be the first to know when it launches. Sign up now at patientsgettingpaid.com/list. Welcome to the FUMS Now podcast show, where you'll gain information, inspiration, and motivation for living your best life with multiple sclerosis. Find us online at FUMSnow.com. I'm your host, Kathy Reagan Young. Today's guest is Dimitri Leonov, co-founder of Taopatch, which is a tiny patch that combines acupuncture with light therapy to bring relief to various symptoms. I heard about Taopatch from multiple FUMSers telling me this little patch was really helping them. So I had to learn more about it and bring the story to you. Let's go meet Dimitri and learn more about Taopatch together. Hey, Dimitri, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me, Kathy.
Yeah. So your LinkedIn About page says, and I'm quoting because I love this, "I'm an internet entrepreneur, advisor, investor, and all-around sweetheart." I love that description. It also says that you're passionate about using technology for human thriving, and I love that too. I'm also guessing that's what brought you to the place to co-found Taopatch. Am I right?
Yes.
Well, so tell me a little bit about that.
Sure. So let's see. So my path has been a long one, and I started in investment banking, then worked at a company that got acquired by Yahoo. So I spent a few years in kind of online advertising world, and then left to start my first startup. And then over the last few years, I became more and more kind of interested in how can we use technology instead of just making money online. How can we actually improve people's lives? And I know it's kind of a cliche to say that, but there's a growing space, and the space is called transformative technologies, which I'm a co-organizer of. We have a conference coming up in a couple of weeks, and so our movement is how can we use technology for well-being and thriving, and we define that as just physical, emotional, mental wellness for people. And let's see, about a year and a half ago, a friend of mine kind of came across this technology called Taopatch, which was invented by a gentleman named Fabio Fontana in Italy, where he's been working with it for the last 7 years and kind of done a lot of studies, a ton of testimonials, and has a network of 1,800 doctors. And so me and my friend Marco, we've decided to partner with Fabio and bring this technology to the U.S. and North America. And up until earlier this year, the only way you could buy Taopatch was by working with a doctor in Italy. So one of the 1,800 doctors in Italy. And so we realized that there is a way to just bring it straight to consumer and to sell it online and ship it by kind of simplifying and productizing the directions and protocols for how somebody could just try this at home.
Yeah, very cool. I love that. And I love how you say you're using technology to help with wellness and well-being and health and all of that. Oftentimes I think of tech as really challenging my well-being because it makes me so freaking angry sometimes. In fact, I will share with everyone that as we were going on this interview, I couldn't find the damn record button again because they keep switching it on me. So I feel like tech can really be challenging at times, challenges my mental health. But I like that are trying to use it for good and not evil. I
Well,
appreciate that.
and it's a really important point. Coming from the space that I spent many years in online advertising, we have some of the smartest people in the world using all of their brain and all of their time to figure out how to make more money from a click.
Yeah.
How to maximize more clicks, maximize sharing. And it's definitely a hot topic right now with Facebook and privacy and all of these other things.
Right.
And a lot of people in this kind of newly formed transformative technology space come from online advertising, come from video games, which is another, I'd say, not so constructive use of technology.
Right.
And all of it sort of getting frustrated. Frankly, a lot of them coming from traditional medicine as well, where they see that a lot of the traditional medicine just isn't helping.
Okay, so let's start with explaining for folks who are not familiar what Taopatch is. It's described on your site as wearable nanotechnology that combines acupuncture with light therapy. What in the hell does that mean exactly?
Sure. So I wish this was on video. I would actually show you what it looks like. But it's a dime-sized patch. It's a dime-sized circle that you apply to your skin, and you can apply it with any medical tape and depending on where you apply it, it has different results. And so basically, what it actually is, it's a little circle that contains layers of nanocrystals. And what those nanocrystals, that's basically a nanomaterial. And what these nanocrystals can do is they essentially capture the heat from your body and they convert it into visible light, specific wavelengths of visible light. So it kind of, in a way, it's using so it doesn't need batteries, right? It uses your body's own energy and it just kind of reflects it back to you in a different way.
Wow, that's so cool.
It's really quite magical, and
it sounds magical.
It sounds too good to be true. And if you look at some of the video testimonials on our website and on our Facebook page, it really looks too good to be true.
Right.
But it's not, right? Everything is real.
That's so cool. I have a constant soundtrack going in my head. Like my kids could tell you, I just burst into song all the time. It's annoying as hell to them, but I do have something going through my head in your description, which is this little light of mine. I'm going to let it shine. So, so that can now be your theme song. So, okay, you take these little patches and you apply them to different parts of your body, like to achieve different results. Have I got that right?
Yep.
Okay. So I'm going to ask you some questions now about specific symptoms to MSers. So I should say this is not limited to MSers. I mean, this has application for all kinds of people, all kinds of disease states, and just in general in wellness, correct?
Yes. In fact, the fact that it's so helpful for MS is a complete accident.
Yay. There's so much with MS that's so unpredictable. Why not this? So, okay. So where do you apply it if you're fighting fatigue?
Well, so anything related to MS, it's actually the same points.
Oh, okay.
There's a couple of specifics. So for example, there are specific points for leg spasticity, for leg drop, foot drop, and there's specific points for bladder issues. But overall, and we have most of our customers who have MS just use it on the two basic points that we recommend for absolutely everyone, and that's what works for everyone. That's more than enough.
And where are those?
So there's 2 points. And by the way, when you get Taopatch mailed to you, we send you the instructions.
Good.
And it's so everything is very very easy. One of them is kind of on your sternum.
Okay, got it.
And one of them is on your lower neck.
Okay.
C7 is the.
Wasn't sure where you were going with that. That little pregnant pause made me a little nervy. Okay, good.
It's upper back or lower neck.
Sternum, lower neck, upper back. Got it. Okay.
Well, the thing that's really interesting about this is So again, as you said, our description is we combine light therapy with acupuncture.
Yeah.
Both of those forms of therapy have a ton of studies. So light therapy, or it's also called low-level laser therapy, is incredibly well-studied form of therapy. If you go on PubMed, there are a ton of studies. Acupuncture is actually the most studied form of therapy. I think there are more studies about acupuncture on PubMed than any other form of medicine.
Well, they've been around longer.
Yes, exactly. Well, and so all we really do is we combine those two things. And also, well, neurology is the other. Some of the points we're using are actually not acupuncture points, but just through years of fine-tuning it and looking at how it affects different people, we find different points that are not Chinese medicine specific.
Okay. So for the most part, for MS, it's going to be those 2 points. But for something like you said foot drop, maybe balance and mobility issues, bladder, those might be different, but you'll get the instructions when you order where to put him?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you told me 2 different spots. Do you wear 2 then at the same time? Or do you know what I'm saying? Or just 1? And how long do you wear them?
So you wear 2 at the same time.
Okay.
There's another protocol that we find very useful, and we call it the pyramid protocol, which kind of goes on the top of your head, and you can use a surgical mask or a hat to place them there. So there's a couple of, and again, this is all explained in the directions, so you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, and just to be clear, I just want to remind my community that you don't ever have to take notes here at the FUMS podcast show. We have show notes for you. So just go to FUMSnow.com/FUMS068, because this is the 68th episode. And all of these show notes will be there. I'm sorry, I digress. Go ahead.
Perfect. Well, and then the other thing is, what I always say on our webinars, if anything is unclear, please just email us at hello@taopatch.co. We have an amazing support team, so we're always here to recommend, and we'll always guide you, so you're never alone.
Excellent.
In fact, I would want to call out one of our fantastic support team members was our customer. His name is Adrian, and so he's had MS for 39 years, and he's tried them and became the biggest supporter, and then started working with us.
Very cool.
So now he's helping. He literally, I think he never sleeps, and all he does is he helps people with a mess. Yeah, it's really amazing.
It's good for your soul, I'm telling you. It helps a lot to help other people. So, okay, on these various spots, and then how long do you leave them on?
So in the beginning, so first of all, they work for 2.5 years. So we say 2 years to be safe, but it's really closer to 2.5.
I'm sorry, did you say years?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, holy cow. I thought you were going to say like weeks or months or something. Wow, that's awesome.
No. So, and this is the thing, right? So it's not a cheap product, right? Each set of patches, they come in a box of 3.
Yeah.
It costs $249, but it lasts for 2.5 years, and we have a money back guarantee. So if it doesn't work for you, or if it works for you, but if it's not worth the money, just send it back. We'll happily refund you, and we don't have any issues with that.
Excellent.
Yeah,
excellent.
But so to answer your question, for the first week, we ask that you only wear them for 4 hours a day.
Okay.
Second week, 8 hours a day. Third week, 12 hours a day. And then after that, you can wear them 24/7. Okay. And the reason for that is there's kind of a detox effect that happens in the beginning. And if you wear them 24/7 from the very beginning, it can be a little bit overwhelming on your system. And so we've, over the last 7 years, we've kind of developed that protocol.
Learned that. Yeah. And so detox effect, like feeling shitty, like you have the flu?
No. It's not that bad. It's for some people it's fatigue. Some people don't sleep as well. So if you wear it, we have some people put it on and just wear it at night when they fall asleep. And what it does, especially in the beginning, and we've done studies on this as well. What it does is it decreases your delta waves and it increases your beta. So basically it kind of makes you more focused and more energized. So a lot of people report it's like drinking coffee when you wear it.
Nice. Drinking coffee without having to pee 8 times. That's awesome. Sign me up.
Yeah, exactly.
That's great. Okay. I'm liking this more and more. However, this is a perfect point to ask you this question because I was looking at your website and it mentions stimulating our central nervous system. And when I hear things like stimulate your central nervous system, that makes me kind of nervous, honestly, because we MSers like to keep that damn CNS as quiet as possible. So tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, so really what it does, the light that it emits, so again, it takes your body heat and turns it into very, very faint light. So it actually glows in the dark.
Oh, it does? That's so
Yeah.
cool. Oh,
Yeah.
God, I love that idea. I could scare the shit out of my kids. Okay, I'm sorry, go ahead.
It's very faint. It's not, you can see it, but it's not like
Oh, okay.
it's not.
I was just thinking if I could put it like where my eyes are and I'm sorry, go ahead. Fun.
So what it does is it's essentially the light that it sends is similar to, well, light therapy, and then it's also similar to biophotons, which your central, and this is proven fact, not super well known, that our nervous system uses biophotons to communicate within itself. So what it does is it essentially it reminds your central nervous system how it's meant to communicate naturally with the rest of your body. And so it's not overly stimulating your nervous system in a sense like you're jittering, but it does improve and the reason it worked. And I should tell a short story of how we even stumbled on the fact that it works for MS.
Yeah.
But really, what it's doing is it's kind of strengthening those connections, and it's kind of acts like an amplifier in a way. So it does help your nervous system function the way it was naturally designed to.
Okay.
Also, initially, it was designed to treat muscle contractures, and so and it's a long story of how the thing was developed. But one day, one of the doctors that was working with Taopatch decided to put it on one of his patients who had MS, and this doctor was not a neurologist. And so he put it on this person, and the patient who was in a wheelchair, and within 45 minutes, got up from the wheelchair. And
stop it right now! Are you really?
No, it's crazy. I mean, the videos that you see are.
I know they are They are crazy, exciting, and crazy. Yeah.
I mean, these are some of them are a week apart. I think a couple are a month apart, but a lot of them are on the same day. It literally takes 15 minutes. It's absolutely insane.
Holy cow!
Yeah.
All right. So then this doctor sees this person get up out of their wheelchair. I mean, he must have said, "You've been healed." I mean, it feels very much like a revival in the South.
Yeah. Well, and so that's just said, that's an interesting development.
Yeah.
So we've then conducted a study and it wasn't a huge study. I think it was 30 patients, but it was over a few months, like over 6 months. And we've just been noticing a steady improvement on pretty much across the board with on everything from mobility to fatigue. And one of the interesting effects was just emotional wellness. And this is something we consistently have seen with not just MS patients, but you just feel better as well.
Oh my gosh. So like everyone in the world should be wearing some Tao patches right now because this COVID is killing us all emotionally. I think mentally everyone is diving and everyone's trying everything. Meditation. I'm walking constantly walking, drinking lots of water. I'm careful with what I'm eating. And still, it's just so heavy.
Yeah. No, absolutely. So it's the emotional aspect as well. And if you think about it, there's a lot of benefits to having your central nervous system communicate more effectively with the rest of your body,
working the way it's supposed to, right?
Just across the board.
Right.
We have everyone from biohackers who use it to improve their HRV, heart rate variability, to I was just in our headquarters in Italy, and the European boxing champion, he's one of our customers, and so we were looking at what it's done to him. And it's, lots of athletes use it to improve their sports performance.
Wow.
It's a really quite, and we're just beginning. This is
Wow.
It's been a few
Yeah.
years, but there's a lot more we can do.
Yeah. Well, you've kind of already hit on this, but just to let everybody know and again, this will all be in the show notes. There will be clickable links so you can get right to Taopatch's website and these amazing videos. And you have a multitude of reviews on your site from people with MS. I mean, people across the board, but in particular, we're talking about people with MS stating that Taopatch has helped them in so many ways. It's really impressive. But the videos of the tandem gait execution for several MS patients on your site, meaning it's video of them walking or raising their legs prior to and then after using Taopatch, are just amazing. Were those done the same day? I think you just said some things were
Uh,
and some things weren't.
I think most of them on the site are the same day. I think the video actually says it, but yeah, most of them are on the same day. What we've seen is the longer you wear it, the better the improvement. But
Mhm.
the results are immediate. One thing I want to add that's really interesting is, and this is a question that comes up, is how quickly should I expect results?
Yeah, right.
This depends.
Of
This
course.
depends on how long you got a mass, right? There's a lot of different factors. We
Sure.
know we have in our lab we have the instruments that measure balance, for instance.
Mhm.
We know the results are immediate for everyone. Like you can with the right instrument you can measure the improvement. We've had a few people over the years, and including also a couple of weeks ago, somebody posted a comment on our Facebook page saying, "Hey, I'm going to return these. They're not working."
Mhm.
Later that afternoon, that same person adds a comment to their original comment saying, "I went to see my neurologist today, and my neurologist was blown away by my progress."
Mm.
And so this is something we see pretty consistently is people who, well, sometimes people don't feel the results,
Mhm.
but objectively, if somebody, and this is why we
Right,
ask you to,
testing.
well, yeah,
Mhm.
do tests, record the video. So we
Right.
really, one of the things we found is that, yes, technology is great, but how you use it and the following the directions, specifically that, remember the 4 hours in the beginning, 8 hours second week, and
Right,
so
right, right, right.
there's not a lot of these directions, but we
Oh,
do
thank
ask you
God.
to follow them.
Thank God. 'Cause, I'm laughing because when you said about like it's when I asked you, was it the same day that these videos were taken? And you said, well, it says on there. I'm just laughing because I'm such a visual learner. I don't read instructions. I mean, it's just ridiculous. I'm sorry. Go ahead. so, so I get written instructions, but you just said there's not a lot. So I'm grateful for that. Thank you.
There's four. The first one is where you put. The second one is the onboarding schedule, which we already covered. It's just 4 hours
Right.
the first week and so on. The third one is you need to drink. You need to be sufficiently hydrated. So we recommend at least 2.5 liters of water per day.
Okay.
This is important.
Okay.
And then the last one is we ask, and this is not a requirement, but we really ask that you do record yourself, you do the tests, because
Hmm.
a lot of times you won't be able to, like, a lot of people feel the results depending on how in tune they are with their body.
Sure.
But if they look on video, it's obvious to
Right.
people's physical therapists and neurologists.
Yeah. Okay. I can handle four things to do. Directions that
No,
simple.
that was.
I got that. It's when I get these long, oh, I hate that. So do the results last or do people have to keep applying the towel patch to keep getting, the relief or the
Great
results?
question. So we ask that you keep them on. So it's up to you, right?
Hmm.
It's so far the people that have seen results, they don't want to take them off.
Yeah,
So
I
we
bet.
haven't we haven't actually tested it.
Yeah.
We do have some actually my partner uh, who's had a wrist injury. He's been, so this is actually how he came to Taopatch. He
Hmm.
introduced me to Taopatch. He's had a terrible wrist injury. He's tried everything, nothing worked, and then he patch on his wrist. And an hour and a half, the pain went away and the wrist became completely functional. Then after about a month, he took it off,
Hmm.
and on day 3, the pain started to come back.
Oh.
So this is in his case, right? Everyone
Yeah.
is different.
Sure.
And this is why it's really impossible to have kind of objective results or objective metrics like this, because everything is different, especially with MS, right? Every case is different.
Yeah, and it's every case is different and every day can be different. So yeah, we're familiar with the well, it depends answer. We get that.
And here's the thing: we get a lot of not a lot. There's a couple of people who have expressed concerns, saying, "Well, your studies don't have enough sample size, right? Oh, only 30 people." And our answer to this is, listen, we can make a study with 300 people or 3,000 people. That doesn't mean it's gonna work the same way for you. That's why we have the money back guarantee. Try it.
Oh, smart.
If it doesn't work for you, just send it back. We'll happily refund you. It's not a problem.
Right.
But it just doesn't make sense for us to get into this argument of, well, what's the size and how was the study conducted?
Right.
Yes, we were constantly we were very focused on science. We're constantly conducting more studies. But at the end of the day, are you going to feel a difference? And again, we know that measurably their difference is there. But whether or not you will feel it, and whether, for some, we had a person return a couple of months ago who said, you know what, I actually feel better. I have more balance, but it's not worth the money for me, so I'm going to return it. And that's absolutely fine.
That's kind of kooky, though. Well, whatever. I was just going to say I'm not judging, but I really am. I can't imagine feeling, but whatever. Everybody's circumstances are different. So I like the sciencey stuff and, like proof. So I like what you were just kind of alluding to. And this is, again, all on your website, that you have 1,800 doctors that have tested Taopatch. You've got dozens of sports teams, thousands of patients, and several studies. So I just kind of wanted to say that out loud so everyone would hear that. Like, this isn't just, you alluded to it, but there's some time and energy and real life, I'm using the word patience in air quotes, just because it's not just patients, it's other people who, maybe for well-being or for whatever reason are using this. So, but there's some, and this has been around for 7 years. It's only been in the US for how long? Has it even been a year yet?
No, it hasn't.
Yeah. So I started hearing about this. People in my various communities were popping up and saying, "Hey, Kathy, have you heard about Taopatch?" And I hadn't initially, and then literally I was hearing it in all my communities. So I was grateful to learn about it. But you've mentioned a couple times this money back guarantee, and I just want to kind of delve into that a little bit more, because I did look that up too, because that's important. And as you say, this isn't a $20 thing. It's an investment. And what it says on your site is, quote, "Because multiple sclerosis affects everyone differently, we can't guarantee that you're going to see results within 15 minutes, like some people do," which is crazy, but we've already talked about that. "But we can guarantee that if you don't see any noticeable improvements within 90 days, 3 months, you can simply contact our friendly customer service team for a full and prompt refund, 100% hassle-free." I have so many questions about that, but you've answered a lot of them. But first, okay, so people see results in 15 minutes. That is just crazy to me. But as you said, that's how they figured out that it would work for MS, is like this guy slapped it on his MS patient. That sounds horrible. This wonderful doctor placed it gently on an MS patient, and he rose from she rose from their wheelchair. So 15 minutes is like, you see that.
Yeah, and just to be completely clear, please don't be discouraged if you don't see results.
Sure.
That's why I want to be careful, right?
Right.
It depends. And for some, in some cases, just please record the videos. Do it a week later. Do it in 2 weeks, because then you'll be able to see it.
Yeah, and give it some time. So in your money back guarantee, you mentioned noticeable improvements, and I guess that's really subjective, right? That's not something like you're going to say, well, that would be noticeable to anybody else. I'm sorry that you don't notice it. That's like, if we don't think it's noticeable, then we can return it.
Yeah, we got to change the wording, because we don't, they're really, really hassle-free, and there really aren't any there's no catch. So
That's
if
awesome.
it's whatever you find as noticeable, not we define
Yeah.
as noticeable.
That's great. So I try it out. I deem it not to have worked for me for whatever reason. That's enough. I don't have to prove somehow that I've been using it correctly or anything. It's just for whatever reason, I want to return it. I'm not down with it. Then I get my full refund back, hassle free.
Exactly.
Perfect.
Exactly. And we ask that you record the videos. It's really just for you. We don't want to see the video.
Right. You're not asking for that.
We're happy.
Sure.
No.
Well, holy cow, Dimitri, this has been so interesting. I personally can't wait to try Taopatch. Oh, I had another question I forgot to ask you. Why is it called Taopatch? That's such a strange word to me. I mean, I get the patch part, but why Tao?
Well, so here's the thing. There's something very poetic about what this device is doing. Really, so I've been, and I think hopefully a lot of your listeners are into alternative and kind of, it's called alternative medicine, but it's really not alternative.
Yeah. It's complementary. Right? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The ironic thing is this alternative medicine has been around for way longer than what we traditionally.
I know. So Western med should be called alternative.
Oh, right. Well, so here's the thing. And the common thing about again, I'm using air quotes, alternative medicine is that it's really designed to bring your body into balance, or more specifically, to help your body bring itself into balance. Whereas, Western medicine, and I have absolutely nothing against Western medicine. I'm very happy, that we have Western medicine for cases where it's really needed.
Yeah.
It's just that in so many of in most of the cases, especially if you catch it early enough, it's much better to have to help your body kind of rebalance itself, because there's no side. And by the way, that's the other thing about Taopatch. There's no side effects, and we're in Europe, we're certified as a Class 1 medical device, which means it can be self-applied and there are no side effects.
Nice.
But this is really the point of it. What it's doing is it's taking your own energy, reflecting back to you as kind of a mirror. And all it does is it helps your own nervous system communicate the way it's supposed to with the rest of your body. So there is for example, one of the use cases is pain. And we have so many case studies and testimonials of people reporting, with injuries saying now they don't feel pain. It's not because it's a painkiller.
Yeah.
But it actually goes to the root of the problem and addresses the root, so that there's your pain is just your body telling you that something's wrong. Right. So it actually addresses the issue, so there's no pain. And this is kind of the philosophical point behind why it's called Taopatch.
Gotcha. I love that. Thank you for sharing that. I can't wait to try it. And you've been kind enough to extend FUMS an affiliate link, meaning if anyone purchases through this link, FUMS will receive a commission. First of all, thank you so much for that. And secondly, let me give that link so people can go to the site, learn more, and purchase if they'd like to. That link, which can also, again, be found in the show notes, is FUMSnow.com/Taopatch, which is TAOPATCH. And then you created a special discount for FUMS podcast listeners. Amazing. Thank you so much for doing that. Can you please tell everyone about that discount and how to get it?
Yeah. So just when you will first go to the link that you just shared, and then on your checkout page, in the coupon code, type FUMS.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Oh, excellent. Well, thanks for doing that too. Appreciate it on behalf of the FUMS community. This has absolutely been fascinating. Thank you so much for sharing all this information. And again, for the discount for FUMS podcast listeners. And shout out to all of you in the FUMS community that reached out to me to tell me that I needed to find somebody at Taopatch to interview, because everybody's interested. Again, all of the URLs, video links, and Taopatch social links can also be found in the show notes. So FUMSnow.com/FUMS068. Thanks again for sharing the good news of Taopatch with us, Dimitri. I appreciate you being here.
Thank you for having me.
Quick shout out to Steve Woodward at podcastingeditor.com for the fantastic work on this podcast, including editing, show notes, and ingenious ideas. If you'd like help with your podcast, whether you're just starting out or an old pro, visit podcastingeditor.com and tell Steve I sent you. Thanks Thanks, everybody. I really appreciate you listening to the FUMS podcast show. Be sure to subscribe to it so you won't miss an episode. You can do that right on the website at FUMSnow.com. While you're there, sign up for the free email list so you'll be among the first to know of any new findings in MS research, new therapies and products, as well as any blog posts and podcast episodes I release. Want to chat with others in the FUMS community? Join us on Facebook at FUMS Now. Thanks again, and don't forget to talk to the stupid disease as it deserves. Tell it FUMS every day.